Hello, everybody. We are dividing rational expressions, meaning we are doing fractions. This is going to be version B, which means that I've already done a version A, which was easier than this one. So if you're starting here, you might want to go to version A. Also, this is dividing. I have a whole video set on multiplying, and so you're going to find out that these are going to be very, very similar. You have to know how to multiply if you're going to be able to do the dividing, okay? And all that can be found at maxtutorials.com. If you go to that website, go to the section on rational expressions, and you'll find everything I have there. And again, know how to multiply, and you'll know how to divide. So if you got to my multiplying thing, you learn the first thing you're going to do is look at every numerator and denominator and see if you can factor them. So I'm going to look at number 1, and I'm going to see x plus 3 and an x minus 3. And on the bottom, I'm going to see an x plus 1 and an x minus 1. All I did was factor them because that's what we're trying to do. We want to see the factors. Now, I see a division sign. Whenever you see divide, what that means, you turn it into multiplication and you flip the second one. That's the rule. That's how you divide. Okay? Once you multiply and flip, you're just doing a multiplication problem. And as a reminder, you are allowed to kill an entire parenthesis. You can't kill an x or a number if they're attached to a plus or minus, but if it's the entire expression, the entire denominator, an entire parenthesis. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. How do I get back and do that? Is there an undo button? There we go. It's the x plus 3. You are allowed to do that. And if you notice also, I have an x plus 1 and an x plus 1. So my final answer here is going to be an x minus 3 on top and an x minus 1 on bottom. Now, can I kill those x's? Nope, because they are not factors right now. For them to be factors, they have to be multiplying. That x is doing a subtraction problem with the 3, and the bottom one's doing a subtraction problem with the 1. Neither of them are multiplying, so you're not allowed to cancel them, okay? If you see a plus or minus, don't cancel. All right, let's do number 2. That's a difference of perfect squares. That's x plus 4, x minus 4. And this is a difference of squares, x plus 5 and x minus 5. Now, it's multiplication, division, so I turn it to multiplication, and I flip. What's the fancy word for flipping? It's the reciprocal. That's the fancy word. So now, I can see right here that I have these x minus 4s that could cancel out, and I see the x plus 5s, and I'm left with x plus 4 over x minus 5, and I'm done. All right, let's go to number 3. Okay, so a difference of squares. We're doing a lot of these right now. We're really locking that in. So whenever you see perfect square minus a perfect square, this is what we do. We just take the square root and we go plus or minus. And that was a rule that we learned when we were factoring. It's in if you go back to Max Tutorials, it's in a section called Special Cases. And that's where I taught that. X plus 2 on top and an x plus 6 on bottom because we did the reciprocal, because we are dividing. Now we do our canceling. X plus 6, x plus 6, x plus 2, x plus 2. My answer is x minus 6 over x minus 2. And I can't do anything with the 6 and the 2 either, even though, 6 over 2 is 3, but they're attached to a minus sign, so you can't. Okay, number 4, difference of 2 squares. That's going to be x plus 7, x minus 7. And the bottom one's going to be an x plus 3, x minus 3. Multiply and flip. Okay, so now here we go. X minus 7, x minus 7, x plus 3, x plus 3. What's left over? X plus 7 over x minus 3. And that's it. Number 5, I have a difference of squares. X plus 8, x minus 8. Down below here, x plus 4, x minus 4. Now, this is the division, so I'm going to change it to multiplication and flip. Boom, boom. Okay, so now I have an x minus 4 and an x minus 4. I have an x plus 8 and an x plus 8. I am left with an x minus 8 over an x plus 4. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Again, difference of squares. Looks like we're going to go on to some new ones after this. So hang in there if you're getting bored because you're seeing the same problems. But you know what? It's great practice for you. Okay, so when you see these, you're going to feel super comfortable. All right, so now what do you do when you divide? multiply, and flip. How many times can I say that in one video? Okay. So now I'm looking at the red now. Don't even look at anything that was original. Now that we fixed the problem. So we're going to go, oh, don't leave me. X minus 10, X minus 10, X plus 5, X plus 5. What's left over? X plus 10 over X minus 5. And that's it. Can't do anything with the X's or the 10 and the 5 because they're attached to a plus and minus, meaning that they're not factors, okay? Now, how do I factor the numerator here on number 7? Well, this is a what's the same, what's left over. Whenever you look at the terms and you see a number or a letter that will go into them, that's always your first step. So here, what's the same? A 3 and an X. What's left over? An X minus 4. How about down here? Difference of squares, that's X plus 4, X minus 4. Okay, now it's divide, so I want to multiply and flip. Okay? I just restated them all. Now I'm just looking at the reds. X plus 4, X plus 4. X minus 4, X minus 4. Now I just have the 3X and the 6. 3 will go in the 3 once. 3 will go in the 6 twice. Now try to look at the top and bottom. What's left over? It's just an X on top and it's a 2 on bottom. I know it looks like a Z. Okay? Whoa! Here we go. That started to freak out on me. Let's do the bottom one. Okay, look at the top. What's the same? 5X. What's left over? X minus 4. Look at the bottom. That's going to be an X plus 5 and an X minus 5. Now, look at the next one. Multiply and flip. Okay, now I just restated everything. I have an X plus 5 and an X plus 5. I have a 5 and a 10, which will become a 1 and a 2. So if I look at what's left over, on top, I just have that X and the X minus 4, and I'm going to write it just like that. And on bottom, I'm just going to have, now look, I have that 2 there. That's the one thing, it can get a little bit busy. You know what, I have an idea. I'm going to try something on the next one. 2 and an X minus 5. What if I were to do this? Why restate everything? Let me restate everything in blue. So I'm going to factor in blue on this one. I'm going to pull out a 2X, and I'm going to be left with an X minus 9. Here, I'm going to get an X plus 9 and an X minus 9. Here, I'm going to multiply, and I'm going to flip. All these are gone. Now, I'm going to do all my crossing and finishing in red. Let's see if that helps me. Okay, an X plus 9 and an X plus 9, go away. X minus 9, X minus 9, go away. I have here a 2 and a 4. That becomes a 1. That becomes a 2. What's left over? X over 2. I don't know if that helped. Okay? These do get very busy. They do get very messy. So be very careful. Now, another thing you can do also is this. The only problem is if you make a mistake, you've gone so crazy that you can't get back to it. Now, if you're using a pencil, you can always use an eraser. What do I mean? Here's what I mean. Here I can pull out a 4X. So I'm going to pull out a 4X, and I'm left with X minus 9. Here I have an X plus 3 and an X minus 3. Right? Here I multiply and I flip to X minus 3 over 8. Now, let's see if that erases on me. Oh, it didn't. Okay, so I really cross them out. That way I can't accidentally see the numbers now. Okay, and so now I get an X minus 3, X minus 3, but I'm going to really make these gone. Okay, well, whatever. It's gone now. Okay, so now the 4, I'm going to really kill that 4. And the 8, I'm going to make it into a 2. And then that's it. Okay, so I'm going to have an X minus 9 over a 2 and an X plus 3. Okay, when I cross out on this iPad I'm doing it on, it erases it. So I'm surprised that those even stayed. But, you know, instead of just crossing them out, if you do it a little bit, you know, darker like that, and sometimes your eyeball doesn't see those and it helps you. So that's a good thing. X plus 5 over X minus 5. Multiply and flip. X plus 5 over 2. Okay, so now that's gone. Now that's gone. All right, so let's see. Let's take my x plus 5 and my x plus 5. And let's take my x minus 5. And let's take my x minus 5. And what's left? X over 2. All right, I'm just going to do my cross it out now. Okay, top, what's the same? X, what's left over? X minus 8. This is going to be an x plus 4, x minus 4. Multiply and flip. That's how we divide. We multiply and we flip. Okay, so now don't look at these. Only look at the red now. I have an x plus 4 and an x plus 4. And I have nothing else in common. So that just becomes an x minus 8 over 4 x minus 4. Okay, let's go on to number 13. Again, we're going to multiply and flip. Shoot, I'll even start there. Why not? X plus 3 over x minus 3. Just showing you all that that's how we start, okay? Now, let's go ahead and do our factoring here. All right, so now this one is a trinomial square. I see that. We did that when we did completing the square earlier when we did factoring and quadratics. Now, 9 square root of 9 is 3, and 3 doubled is 6. So it's in the state where it's going to be x minus 3 quantity squared. Okay, but I'm going to write it like this. And the reason why I'm going to write it like this is because I want to see it cancel out. Okay, and so this is going to be an x plus 3, and this is going to be an x minus 3. Okay, so now watch this. I've got an x plus 3, I've got an x plus 3. I've got an x minus 3, I've got an x minus 3. Look at this. I got an x minus 3 and I've got an x minus 3. My answer is 1. Everybody canceled out. And when everybody cancels out, the answer is a 1. All right, let's go to the next one. Again, trinomial squared. Now, if you don't like just going straight and using that, you don't really have to. That whole thing I taught about factoring, third term positive, signs are the same. Take the sign of the middle number. What multiplies to 25 and adds to 10? 5 and 5. Okay, and this is difference of two squares, so that's the x plus 5, x minus 5. And this is multiply and flip. Okay, now just look at the red. I have an x plus 5, and I have an x plus 5. I have an x minus 5, and I have an x minus 5. I have another x minus 5, and I have another x minus 5. My answer is 1. Okay, number 15. Here I'm going to get an x minus 2 and another x minus 2. This is going to be an x plus 2 and an x minus 2. Multiply and flip. X plus 2 over x minus 2. Okay, let's see. X minus 2, x minus 2, x minus 2, x minus 2, x plus 2, x plus 2. Everybody cancels. I'm left with a 1. Okay, even though that these are not really giving us much variety, you can at least see how we do this and understand how these work. Okay, this is going to be an x minus 7. Let me put my x in there. X minus 7, x minus 7. This is going to be an x plus 7 and an x minus 7. Here, I got to multiply, and now I got to flip. X plus 7 on top and an x minus 7 on the bottom. All right, let's start canceling. X minus 7, x minus 7, x plus 7, x plus 7, x minus 7, x minus 7. Now I get a 1. All right, number 17. Here we go. Difference of two squares. That's going to be an x plus 6 and an x minus 6. This is going to be an x minus 6 and an x minus 6. Multiply and flip. Okay, let's see. Die, 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 die. That's simple, guys. All right, last one. What's the same on this one? This one factors differently. It has some things I can pull out of both. So I'm going to pull out a 2, and that's it. And I'm going to get an x squared minus 25. Now, this one came up on the other one. Okay, in fact, a lot of these did. Here we go. Now, I can break that down to x plus 5, x minus 5, but I'm going to do that on the bottom too. If you have an entire expression that's a factor that'll cancel out, it doesn't necessarily have to be the lowest. I can do this right now, okay? And that's okay to do. Now look at this. I have the 2 and the 4. That becomes a 1, and that becomes a 2. And now I'm just left with an x plus 5 over 2. Done. And that, my friends, is worksheet number B, or letter B, I should say, right? Okay, so if you understand that, you're doing a great job. I've got a version C, and the version C is a little bit harder, but it'll really complete the picture for you. So I'll see you guys on that one.